Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Presents on Shudder. My name is Sean.
And I'm Missy.
Been a while since we did one of these. The goal here is to kind of act as like a streaming guide to content on Shudder. Usually we don't do new things, but since this is a Shudder exclusive, or like I think it's a Shudder produced movie, um, it's going to be on there in perpetuity, I would imagine. So this is Monster Island by Mike Wiluan, also known as, I'm going to probably butcher this, but I just looked it up, orangutan, which, Missy, you said means, what does that mean?
Fish people. It means
Fish
fish
people.
people.
Okay.
So that's what its original title was, or orangutan. And that's actually what the monster, if you look at the credits, that's what the monster is called too.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Mike Wiluan, the director and writer, he's been a producer on a bunch of stuff, but I believe this isn't his first feature, but it's the first one I think in a while. And the other aspect of us doing on Shutter episodes is when we do something, we all have to agree that it's worth watching. So we're both coming from a place of love. Missy, talk about, and it'll be spoiler free, so we're just trying to let people know, But go ahead and talk about Orangutan or Monster Island.
Well, I mean, the basic gist, it's a pretty simple setup. You have a Japanese soldier who they're saying is a traitor who is chained to a prisoner on a ship in World War II. They get stranded on an island and hunted by a creature that kind of looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon-ish.
Yes, very much. That's what caught my eye in the thumbnail on Shutter was how much it looked like that.
Yeah, um it's very creature of the Black Lagoon-esque. I'd been looking at it on Shudder too. I love monster movies. Monster movies and slashers are my favorites, and I love like old school rubber suit monsters, and this just caught my eye. So, I mean, it it certainly has a few shortcomings, but I thought this was freaking delightful. It's a low budget little creature feature, but they do a lot with a little. It feels very it it has that 80s monster movie feel to it
Hmm.
because everything's old school. It's practical gore effects, practical creature effects. The monster is a dude in a rubber suit, and I do love me a good rubber suit monster. But I mean, I think the creature looks good. It it could use a bit more like movement, range of motion, articulation, but overall, I think the creature looks good, and the gore looks good too. It really focuses on just the two lead actors and the monster. Saito is played by Dean Fujioka, and Bronson is Callum Woodhouse, and Alan Maxon is the dude who plays the creature. And he's done horror before. He was the stork monster in VHS Beyond.
Oh, interesting.
That badass
Yeah.
stork monster, it's the
Yeah.
same guy.
Nice.
Um, so it focuses on the two main characters. They're well developed. I cared about both of them. I think they give solid performances. And it's just one of those movies that I love its simplicity. I mean, it knows what it is. It's straight up low budget creature feature, with a rubber suit monster, and it doesn't try to be anything it's not, but it's bloody and it's fun and it's exactly my kind of jam. I find rubber suit monsters very charming. So, I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I thought it was extremely enjoyable. It would pair well with something like either Predator or Humanoids from the Deep.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I dug it. How did you feel?
I liked it. This movie loves Predator.
Yes.
Like there are so many visual or like artifacts of Predator in this that it's it's unbelievable, but never in a way where I'm like starting to roll my eyes. Like it was all like homage, and it worked, and it was appropriate.
Hmm.
But I think of this movie as like Predator, Enemy Mine with like a dash of Godzilla -1, and then obviously Humanoids from the Deep, right?
Hmm.
I really liked its simplicity. I like the way they shot it. I like the effects. It is a rubber suit monster, so to speak, but it's a little bit more than that, I think, just simply because there is like an aspect of moving
Mhm.
the fins and stuff on the head are obviously in some way mechanical or something. And early on they don't show you a lot of the monster, and I was wondering, I'm like, okay, is that it because there's like shortcomings and we're not going to get any like full on, because the thing with monster movies, I want to see it and experience it, but also maybe don't have it on the screen like constantly because you'll kind of eradicate the mystery.
Don't overlight your monster
Yeah,
because sometimes
exactly.
that ruins it.
And this knew exactly, I feel like, how to do, to
Hmm.
stand on that balance and not go over on either side. We got a lot of it. There's like some great action sequences with it, and you can see kind of the limitations where I see what you're talking about, like the articulation or whatever, but it's still, they make it work.
It still it still looks good, and it's
It
got
does.
some, like, you get some good action sequences and whatnot. Like, I think they use it well. The action and the gore is good, and I think it's a pretty cool looking monster. I dig it.
I do too, and it's obviously based on Creature of the Black Lagoon design, which is probably it might be my favorite. It's either that Frankenstein or the Universal Monsters, and has been for my whole life. Um, but also the thing with that monster that I don't think I ever connected until Alan Moore did a comic, I don't remember, let's say 2010, called Neonomicon, where he
Okay.
basically, I don't know if I'm going to say he introduces the idea, but it may predate him, that the Creature of the Black Lagoon is actually a Lovecraftian monster because it's one of the Dagon, like, fish people.
Okay.
So it really kind of plays with, there's no Lovecraftian elements here whatsoever. I feel like
No.
Lovecraftian is like it's a descriptive in horror movies that's overused. Like I've heard people call, all things Lovecraftian. I'm like, that there's nothing Lovecraftian about that. So I'm not, I'm not saying that, but I really like that monster, and I feel like this was a cool. They add a little something to the lore. There's like a sequence in a cave where you see, I don't want to give anything away, but there's something that I don't think we've seen before in regards to this monster. I thought that was pretty
Hmm.
cool. Like its life cycle, I guess we'll say. And I thought both the leads did great. Sato was fantastic. My only issue with the movie, and it's small, I overlook it. This may end up on my best of list. I think in previous years it wouldn't have even gotten close by this point, but it's been kind of a weak year, and this is good enough to maybe get on it. The script is full of contrivances. And what I mean by that is there's just little things where, okay, there's like a sequence where um, Bronson finds this downed fighter plane, and the cockpit is open, so it's just, there's no glass on the top of it or whatever, and he's going through it for supplies, and there's a what he calls a crash axe. You don't know what it is at first. I mean, I guess unless you're a World War II fighter pilot. Um, and it's like mounted to the wall, and he's trying to pull, and then he just leaves it and like lights a cigarette. And the reason he doesn't pursue getting it at that point is because later on he comes back out to get it, and it's like a plot point because then something happens. And but even when he was like trying to get it and then he stopped, I'm like, why? What are you doing? Like, you need that. Or they find something and he wants to eradicate it, and Sato is basically like, no, although they can't speak one another's language. So they do a really good job with the communication too, because there's a gap, but they don't exactly communicate, but they do. Um,
Hmm.
but then Sato changes his mind like lickety split, and I'm just kind of like, I didn't really see him sell that. And it's just, it's moving along. The writing is moving the story, and so there's certain things that they do where it just, you can kind of see the writing, but it's fine. It doesn't matter because it was still really well acted, and I just enjoyed it. Like it, yeah,
Hmm.
it was cool.
And I mean, it's a snappy, like, I want to say it's 85 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
there's nothing draggy about it. It gets going right away. They, it, I think they use their monster well. You do eventually get to see it, but they don't. They don't overdo it. You kind of get glimpses of it in the beginning, and then later on you
Yeah,
get the monster, and but it leaves you wanting to see more, and that's where you want to be with your monster movie.
yeah,
Leave me wanting to see more of it, not you know, not where it's just in your face all the time and you ruin the magic or overlight it and you see
yeah.
too much, and then you see the rubber suit and not the monster.
Right.
But I think it's a really good time, and it is low budget, so I think they did a lot with very little and made a really fun, really cool monster movie.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it would pair nicely with both the movies you mentioned. Also, another movie comes to mind is that movie Sweetheart that was on Netflix forever. It's on something else now. It's a girl stranded on a beach in an island, and there's like a monster involved. It's been years since I
Oh,
watched it, but it was good. And it would, this, like, there were certain things that this reminded me of, mainly the setting and the way they kind of use the setting. But this would pair nicely with that. This would pair nicely also with Overlord, that World War II
I've
zombie kind
not
of
seen
movie.
that one.
That's really good. And so this is interesting in, like you mentioned, how our two protagonists, Sato and Bronson, are chained together. And this starts with this idea. There's like a small text, not crawl, but there's like a small text that says basically like prisoners were carried on these ships that they called hell ships and during World War II. And these were often bombed by the Americans. So they're Japanese prisoner ships. Americans bombed them, not realizing that there were American prisoners on there, right? So that sets up the whole first part of the movie, and that's why they're chained together. You don't know exactly because there's a thing like, wait, so why is Sato also a prisoner? And there's like this
You
intimation
find
that
out later.
yeah, there's an intimation that he's a traitor, but you don't really know. I will say, I thought the end, like I was like, okay, we're good. Like you, it went on
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit
my
long
one
with the
beef.
like meaningful staring out the windows and stuff like that. Like, but
That
again, it was fine.
that whole that whole last sequence with that dragged on a little bit, like the closing scene.
They were being kind of precious about it. Like every question that they ask him, he's kind of like takes like this deep, meaningful stare. I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay,
like I
come
didn't
on.
I didn't need all that. We could just close out with the monster fight and I'm good.
There
But
was a better place to end it for sure. Like
right, there
this,
was. And
this reminded me of this. Did you ever see the movie Monster with the little girl and her mom trapped in the car?
yes. I don't know if I saw all of it. I want to say I might have fallen asleep and never went back to it because the relationship with the mother was just exhausting.
I remember that you had seen it because that was like the most horrific part of the movie was the mother's relationship with her daughter. But that movie, the way it ends, I was for sure something was going to happen as a final image, and it didn't. And it was the same thing here.
Okay.
And it was the exact same expectation.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever saw all of that.
It's a good flick, but it's hard.
I,
It's a
I
little hard
think
to watch.
I think I might have fallen asleep before all the good stuff happened, but then didn't want to go back and deal with um the mother relationship was just fucking awful in that movie. But maybe I'll give it another
It'd
go.
make
But
a good pairing with the Babadook. No,
or maybe not.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Or maybe not. If it would pair well with the Babadook, I'm out. I
No, it's not. It's not the same. But
Okay.
the exhausting family dynamic.
Okay. But it has a monster payout, right? Because I don't remember.
Yes, and actually,
So I don't know if I got there.
I'd like you to watch it because I'd like to see if you think because I just feel like
Okay.
the way they do the final shot, it's obvious what should happen, and then it doesn't happen. I was like, are you fucking kidding?
Okay. Okay.
But anyway,
And I'll have to check out that Sweetheart movie too. I'm not familiar with that one at all, but with that title, I wouldn't have paid attention to it unless I
right,
knew something about it. That
right.
I mean, Sweetheart sounds like a romantic comedy.
I gotta figure out what that's. I just saw it on something else, and I was surprised because I'm like, oh, I thought I had just assumed all these years it was a Netflix movie, but
Okay.
apparently it is not. I want to say it's like, it's right now. Well, okay, so IMDb says it's just a rental on Prime, but I swear I saw it included somewhere. But whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far as like, I don't know, this movie it has a tide of good faith with me that just washed away all of my any issue that would arise. I'd be like, I don't care. I'm still enjoying myself. Like it was very crisp looking. Like it is low budget, but it looks really good.
It's shot well. It's
Yeah.
shot well. Um, some of the, I don't know, some of the editing is a little bit funky, I think.
Yes.
There's a scene where that involves a tree and the two main characters and the monster, and they're all kind of coming together from different places. And eventually you get the idea that they're coming to each other, but it feels disjointed. It threw me off for a minute.
Yes. Yeah, that scene, and I think there's another scene. There is another scene. So there's a scene in the cave where when the scene climaxes, I was like, wait, what now? Because
Mm-hmm.
I had thought it was something else entirely was happening, and it wasn't what was
Right.
happening as far as
Yeah.
who
So
was where.
right. So sometimes things kind of jump around and cut together funny. So it's a little disjointed. But I mean, otherwise, I think it's well shot. They use their monster well, and it's just a good time. I mean, it's not, I mean, if you're looking for state of the art, top notch special effects, this isn't that. But if you like the creativity behind the down and dirty practical effects, you'll appreciate this.
I agree. Actually, you know what that makes me think of, and this is so. I th I don't know that I would say this would pair well with Dog Soldiers because for me, Dog Soldiers is like one of the best movies of all time, and it's just on a level that not much can reach, especially in that like budgetary range. But Neil Marshall has a movie from like a year or two ago called The Lair that is literally just Dog Soldiers stripped down and redone as like almost the same exact beats and everything, but in the desert with like I don't know if it's a
Oh,
demon or something.
right. Yeah, it's not
This would go with
werewolves.
that. No, it's not
Yeah,
werewolves at all. This would go with that. I kept flashing. There were things about this movie that made me flash on that movie. So that would be a
okay.
good pairing.
I can see that. I agree
And
with
this is
that
a
too.
better movie.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a blast.
Yeah, I agree.
I know I say this all the time. Sometimes things are just beautiful in their simplicity. They don't need to
Yeah,
be anything else.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
I love that like World War II, you've got the two guys that can't communicate and are mortal enemies, but
they have to work together because they're chained together and something's trying to kill you.
yeah. And they kind of overcome the differences that are impinged upon them by like society and everything going on and realize like we're just two human dudes.
And the one thing I was slightly worried about is I don't like war movies, and even horror movies with a war aspect, a lot of times I can't get into them
Hmm.
if it gets too much into like the historical war stuff. Um, if you don't like that stuff, don't worry about it. It's part of the setup, but once you get to the island, this is a monster movie. It
Yes,
is not a
well
war
said. Well
movie.
said. Very well
So
said.
I mean that just gives you kind of time and place. It's the setting and the tools that get you there, but it's not deeply ingrained in the movie. So I mean, once once it gets rolling, it's a monster movie, and none of that war stuff really matters.
Yeah, it literally just sets the stage and then you're
Hmm.
done with it, and it's just two dudes on an island with a monster.
Right, that are chained together.
Yeah, they're chain. Well, yeah.
If you dig monster movies, it's on Shudder, and I think it's worth your time. It'll very likely make my list, but I like monster movies.
Right. Yeah, it might make mine. We'll see how it goes. That's Monster Island, though. And this is on Shudder, and I'm Sean.
And I'm Missy.
A pandemic of violence floods the streets of major cities as cases of the media-dubbed murder virus, MV20, soar, causing those infected to go on killing sprees. Caught in the middle, police detective Angela Miller finds her only trustworthy ally in the self-proclaimed psychic PI, Gerald Henry. As the two try to navigate the violence, they are drawn into New Age guru Abramelin Harvest's plot to heal the planet. Harvest's missive?
The world is sick, and humanity is the infection.
The cure? Murder. From the twisted mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires and Shadowplay in Book 1, Kim and Jesse, comes his most vicious novel yet, Murder Virus. Available where books are sold.